Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new week of the Cabral Concept. We're here today on our Motivation and Mindset Monday, and I absolutely love today's topic. So the topics each week for the Cabral Concept really come from our community. They come from comments that I see on Instagram or YouTube, and yes, I absolutely do read those comments. I also look at your text. I look at your engagement inside of CabralSupportGroup.com, our community group. So I really like to know what is going on with our community. And my job, I see, is as a teacher. I'm simply someone that's trying to share with you 25 years of experience, over 250,000 private client appointments, and say, well, out of all of that, out of all the research, the data that we have, what do people really care about right now? And so we see topics, we see trends, we start to see like, okay, we're getting into the end of the year. And as we start to get in and towards the end of the year, which believe it or not, it's like the end of the year in 6 weeks, which is so hard to imagine, 6-7 weeks. But we need to start really assessing where we're at right now. And one topic that we really haven't gone into as much, we've touched on it actually a couple of years back, is actually this notion, this idea of alive versus dead time. And what exactly does that mean? So I want to share with you examples today of my own alive time versus dead time. Not all of them, but I want to share with you just some simple examples. And I want you to begin to calculate your own. Now, a lot of times on these Mindset and Motivation Mondays, definitely listen to it when you're out for a walk, you're in the car, whatever it might be. And it's good for the kids, as well to listen to. But here's the thing. Take a sheet of paper, right? Take your journal, divide it in half, or just use 2 open pages. And on the left side, I want you to write the alive time. And on the right side, I want you to write the dead time. And now you can use any other word except, if you don't want to use dead, that's okay. But I want to share with you why. The alive side is anything that you do in life, any moment in life that you have that lights you up, that actually brings energy into your body rather than sucking it out. So the dead time is the exact opposite. These are the moments in your life that you just dread, that you do not enjoy, that you want to do less of because they drain your body of energy, right? So we have bringing energy in, and then we have draining the body of energy. And what I want to do is give you examples right now, and then I would love for you to be able to calculate your own. So when I think of my alive time, I'm always thinking about activities, work, whatever it might be, that the time just flies by. So if you're not someone that be like, oh, I don't know if it gives me energy or not, think about this. You know the things that you really enjoy, right? So let's write those down, of course. But what also, the time just seems to pass. Like a random one would be this. So let's say that my daughters have some type of event on the weekend. Let's say it's a soccer game or something like that. From the moment that I'm getting them ready, taking them out the door, typically both my daughters, my wife, while I am preparing, like getting them to the soccer game, they're practicing, they're warming up, they're playing the game. We might go out for a bite to eat afterwards for lunch. All of that time, although kind of random, it just flies by. We left the house at 8 o'clock in the morning or so, and now it's already 1 o'clock. So it's activities, events where the time just flies by. Now for you, that might be the direct opposite. That might be like total dead time for you. Like I can't, I'm just not into this, whatever it might be. And that's okay. So it's okay to have your own beliefs in life. It's okay to be unique in your own way. And I think that's really important. And I think it's important to respect your own feelings and who you are as an individual. So let me give you a few more examples of what really lights me up and the time seems to fly by. So, for a lot of us, we kind of think about family, but I want to share with you, it's not just always being with family, right? So some of my downtime, I'll give you a couple things that aren't, as exciting, but it's activities with my family. So I don't like to just sit around, even if it's the weekend. Oh, of course, I don't mind for an hour or 2 hours, no big deal. But I don't like to see us just like all hanging out, doing absolutely nothing inside of our house, and it's a beautiful day outside. So hanging out on my couch, beautiful day, trying to figure out what to do, that for me is dead time. That for me is we're missing out on all the amazing things that we could be doing, even if it's just taking a walk, getting on our bikes. Like, let's do something. So for me, I love doing activities with my family, but I don't love sitting around doing absolutely nothing. So that to me, again, other people are more maybe homebodies and they just enjoy sitting there and maybe watching some TV. And that's great too. Like, that's great too. There's no doubt about it. Every once in a while, we do a movie night with my daughters. I love that. There's no doubt about it. But that's like a specific activity, right? We're doing a specific activity. We're not just talking about, oh, well, what should we do? Right? So for me, specific activities, planned activities like that soccer game that I just spoke about, love doing those types of things. Going to the museum, love doing something like that. Going to, we went to this wildlife sanctuary just a couple weeks back. That was amazing. So anything like that, love to be able to do that. Dinner out with my wife, love being able to, we don't do it enough, but be able to take some time, just the two of us, be able to find a babysitter, be able to go out. Again, like for the whole pandemic, like a lot of other people, probably didn't get out as much as you'd like. Probably weren't even allowed if you were in Boston to go out like we were. But I'll tell you this, those are times that I absolutely do enjoy, and the dinner goes by quick. I love to travel. Now, having got to travel over the past really 18 months or so, but over the last 3 months, things have been opening back up a bit. So I hope that we're still able to travel freely in the future. And right now, I'm enjoying going to a couple events. I travel way less. So I've realized that I enjoy travel, no doubt about it. But there's also a level of stress with travel. There's also being away from the family. So I love travel in some regards and some not so much. Plane delays, not so much. Getting stuck in an area, not as much. But I do love travel. And part of that is that I like adventure. I like doing new things. I like visiting new places. I like all of that. I like the newness to things because I haven't figured it out yet, right? So I like to just be able to go in there and be like, oh, this is really interesting. I've never been to, I don't know, let's name a random place, right? I haven't been to, let's say, Savannah, Georgia. All right, I haven't been to Savannah, Georgia. I haven't seen the culture there. I haven't done all these specific things. And I know that's a random one, but we had friends of ours just talking about it this past weekend and how much they enjoyed it, right? So it's like I like to do those things. I like to experience life. So one of the things I love to do with work, and I'll talk about a few work things, I'm very fortunate that I get to do the things that I love. And I'll talk about some of that dead time because that takes me back to when I wasn't able to. But I love to be able to do calls with team members, right? So I'm just trying to give you examples for me to get your mind going. I love being able to talk one-on-one with team members because we can, I just share with them, listen, you speak freely. Share your ideas. I love the creative-based process. So that's a big one. For me, love being able to research and formulate new products for EcoLife. I also love to be able to read and research and learn, and then also turn that into online courses, into free podcasts, whatever it might be. So those are all things. I love to read. I love to learn. I always have. Believe it or not, school was always a lot of times the least learning that I did. I did whatever I had to get good grades and, pass and all that good stuff. But the way that it was presented in school was never interesting to me. I mean, I did well in school, and I'm happy that I'm able to do that school work in a way where basically you memorize things and you regurgitate it. That always just came naturally to me. So I don't have any special, I mean, that's a talent, I guess, is that I was given, able to read something once and I'm able to retain that. Fine. But that's actually not really learning. That's memorization. That's not real world application. So what I actually love doing is picking up books. Like, books are always on my desk. I'm always reading. I'm always learning, always assimilating that information. And a lot of that is obviously from authors that have been doing this for 20 years, 30 years in private practice. And I love to get those decades of knowledge into my brain. And it's like, it's reading books from authors that have been in private practice is one of the greatest shortcuts to success that I know of in any field. So I love doing that. All right, podcasting, as I'm doing right now. For me to be able to record 20-minute or so shows for our community and get those comments back that it's inspiring other people, that it's helping other people, I love to be able to, and always have. I mean, really, I've been filming videos since like 2007. And so that's that. Some other things that are more downtime, personal downtime that I love. I love my, hour in the morning where I'm kind of inspiring myself with good podcasts, good videos. I'm doing my body weight exercises. I'm walking my dog. Love all of that. That's a live time to me to be able to be outside with my dog, take him for a walk before the sun's up or as that sun is just rising. So that's really a special time. Love archery. That's something that I've got into. Haven't been able to do as much lately, but I think about it. Like when it's on my mind, I'm like, oh, I want to be able to go out there and do some target practice. And so that's something that I love. I hope to be able to do more of that and get more time. Going to the gym. I now go to the gym every day, Monday through Friday. I used to do it 4 days a week. The weekends are for my family, so I hardly ever kind of jot off on my own. But Monday through Friday, I'm always doing something now in the gym. And it's not for a long period of time. It's about for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But it's just a great time. It always brings me back to that time when I really started in college that enabled me to change my body, even though the inside of my body was still sick, right? But I could make the outside, I could transform that, and that gave me a lot of hope. So I've always loved going to the gym. I really enjoy it. And then one thing I do want to say is that I don't like being on the phone, right? I'm not a phone person. So like for me to have these like long conversations, I will do it if it's the only way I'm able to connect with another person, but I love being instead with friends, family, colleagues at seminars or events in person, right? So I love having friends and family over on the weekend. And then I love, we're just getting our team together for our own event the first time in about 2 years because of the obviously lockdowns and all that. So I love really the interpersonal based conversations, having dinner together, sharing ideas, but over the phone, not as much fun. And the last thing that I just kind of mentioned is, because it's all encompassing, I've just noticed that I enjoy trying new things. Like I enjoy when someone's like, hey, have you ever done this? And it might be like a fun activity. It might be a work activity. It might be, for a family, whatever it is. I'm like, no, I've never tried that before. I may like it. I may not like it. I may never do it again, but I like it that first time because it's new. And I feel like you really, jazzes you up in terms of like dopamine and getting your mind excited just about learning new things. And so for me, that's a big part of it. Now, dead time, couple examples I want to share with you is this. And again, you have your own alive time. I just gave you a couple examples. There are many, many more, but I'm going to share with you why you need to write them down. I'll do that in just a few minutes after the dead time. So dead time is this. I've never been a big meetings person. My whole team knows that. It's not that I don't like meeting with my team. I do. It's when they're admin-based meetings about this is going on, that's going on, this is happening, and it's like more of negative things that we're trying to fix. Not my favorite. Now, if you run a business, that's just part of, day-to-day business. So some of these are inescapable. And I'm going to teach you at the end. We just try to minimize the amount of time with those. That's it. So I have never liked email, like ever in my entire life. I've never enjoyed it. And you're going to start to see a theme. It's non-personal. People can just write whatever they want. There's no tone in the email. You're not always sure like how to take from it. And no matter how many emails you read and you respond to, there's always a million more, right? So I gave up on email a long time ago. Almost no one emails me. Well, we'll put it this way. Yeah, legitimately almost no one emails me. Let me rephrase that. I get hundreds of emails per day, but you will almost never get a response from me. So anybody who knows me doesn't email me because there's no way that you're going to get a response because I simply can't read and respond to hundreds of emails per day. They're just too long. Now, text messages, comments, things like that, I can respond in 10 seconds. 10 seconds is all I need. Emails, it takes like minutes to read. So I can't, I'm unable to do it. So luckily, again, now I have an amazing team where there are many people that like providing great customer care to anyone, whether it's customers, clients, vendors, etc. And they are able to take the time and they enjoy doing that, which is great because again, we're all unique in our own way. I'm the worst at it, so I say this is not a good position for me to be in. Dealing with negativity in general, that could include like online comments or whatever. We don't get a lot of that. I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful for that. I'm okay either way, honestly, but Negativity in my life is really something that I've pushed out to the greatest degree possible. I don't hang around with a lot of negative people. I don't go to negative events. I don't listen to negativity in the news. I just really shelter myself from that. And people say, well, that's kind of naive or whatever it might be. And it's not. We all create our own reality. So if we take in a lot of negativity, I mean, you have to imagine that's going to affect your psyche in a way. I try to take in as much positivity as possible. So we get very little spam comments or negative comments or anything like that. I mean, if it's anyone that's like asking a legitimate question or even a critique or anything like that, we're all about it. Like, there's no doubt about that. But if someone's spamming, or sometimes like we pay for these groups. A lot of people think like, oh, it's a free Facebook group. Yeah. But we are literally hiring people to moderate the group, to answer your comments, all those different things. And some people come in and they just spam the group. They just try to promote themselves. And, so again, my team knows that just block those, just get rid of that before it even comes in. I mean, this is not the community that we're trying to build. Trying to build a community of positivity, of people helping other people, and all those great things. So questions are always welcome. Even critiques are welcome. You can email support@stephencabral.com, and it literally will go directly to my team. Of course, I don't answer email, but they'll bring it to me. And we're always trying to be better for our community. There's no doubt about it. But people who spam and do things like that, I'm just obviously not a fan. So my team knows that will never even see the light of day. All right. So here's another thing. I used to have 2 very large practices in Boston before we took them completely virtual. And although amazing, I wouldn't be here where I am today. So no doubt about it, wouldn't be here where I am today. So very grateful for that. But I never enjoyed running the day-to-day operations of practices. So about 50% of my time was working with private wellness clients. And before that, private body transformation clients or athletes or whoever it might be, celebrities, you name it. But then 50% of the time is also working with, I hired great general managers, but I still have to answer all those questions. I still have to deal with all the different things that go on in operations. And to me, that was just really draining of energy, right? I would feel great after working with all these people for the day. Then I would come out and they would say, hey, the person that's supposed to deliver the new massage linens and all that can't be here now till tomorrow. And we might be like running out of like sheets and all those things. So it's just those things that just drain me of energy, where other people are great managers and they can do those things. It's just never been a strength of mine. So that's why you do have to know yourself. And just one more I want to give you is, it's a random one, but it's more of a personal one. I've told you a personal one with just kind of sitting around, but another one is being in the car. I just do not like taking long car trips. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. Part of it is like, when you look at it, all right, I don't like the interpersonalness of things. I don't like negativity, and I don't like wasting time, right? So once you make your list, you can be like, oh, this has to do with not being person to person, right? No connection with another human being. And the next one is that I don't like negativity. And the third one is I don't like wasting time, right? So after you make your list, you can start to say, oh, this is me. This is what I'm all about. So it's interesting. So what I want you to do is, again, you have to have some dead time, right? Because like I have to do a lot of these things. It's not like I can be completely out of email. I still have to answer emails from, an accountant or from an attorney or from whoever it might be, right? You still have to do those types of things for your business and your work and whatever, taxes. I still have to do some admin meetings. I am the founder and CEO of a few health-based companies. So I have to do that. And of course, you have to be in the car for long road trips sometimes, right? I don't get from Boston to Maine by, flying or taking a train. So you still have to do that. But here's the interesting thing. What we can do is we can start to shift to more of the enjoyment-based activities. So, for example, I would say that before 5 years ago, my life was more 60-40, dead time to alive time. All right, so my daughters were much younger. We weren't able to do as much travel, different things like that. I still had my private practices in Boston, like all of these things. So I would say it was 60-40. It was a little bit more draining time than a live time. There's no doubt about that. But now, over the last 5 years, it's really become 90-10. Like 90% of my time is alive time. I mean, I have great days. I love my work. I love my family. I love the personal activities that I do. I enjoy my weekends. I really do enjoy them. But it's by design. And that's what I want you to know, that I figured out more of what I enjoy doing. So I always kind of have activities planned for the weekend. Maybe we don't end up having to do any of them, but I kind of have a couple on the back of my mind, like, hey, we might do this, we might do this. And then again, I start to mitigate certain things. So for example, like the admin meetings, my team knows we keep them quick, we keep them short. We answer. I give them the answers that they may be looking for. I take their advice, of course, first, and then we move forward. I have amazing teams that are able to delete and block spammers or anything like that. And they're also great at operations and management, where that is not my forte. My forte is creating, researching, reading, teaching, and formulating things like that. So that's what I do, right? Provide the vision, create content, teach, and strategize. Like that's what I'm all about. I love being able to say, where is the industry moving? How can we get there first? How can we better serve our community? Those are the questions I'm asking myself. I'm saying, how do we stay cutting edge? How do we do that to best serve our community? That's honestly, these are the questions that I'm asking every single day. And you will see some pretty wild things come out of those answers in January 2022. So stay tuned. And then just a couple other things is, a lot of my dead time was really from running big practices, 20,000 appointments a year, dozens of employees, front desk, all these different types of things, dealing with Boston landlords, all that. It just was not something that I enjoyed. Again, a lot of other people love it. For me, not so much. I went virtual in 2018. And it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. So again, absolutely amazing. I have an amazing team. That's a big part of it, but we work hard to hire amazing people and provide great training and all those different types of things. And the last one is just a fun one. So I don't like to drive. I don't like to be in the car for long trips. Here's the thing. I just lucked out. My wife loves to drive. So she does all of the driving. To say she does the majority would not be true. She does all of the driving if I'm in the car, 99% of the time, maybe more, 99.9% of the time. And I get to have a nice conversation with her in a more relaxed manner. I get to read a book. I get to do some work, whatever it might be if we're not having a conversation. So that's the thing, is like you can start to mitigate and then move things a little bit more in your favor towards creating more alive time, which is going to bring more energy in your body, produce more great endorphins. And that's why I want you to be able to go through this exercise yourself. So as always, hopefully this was actionable, that you can take it home, that you can do it. Left side is for alive time, right side is for dead time. Are you able to outsource or get ready on any of that dead time? And how can you bring more of that alive time in your life? Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into today's Cabral Concept. And as always, if it was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve.